Democrats need to get their together because we need two parties in this country, and we desperately need the one that still concedes elections, doesn't sell the office, and doesn't want to completely switch out democratic rule of law for a rubber-stamped autocracy. But that party is so right now, and nothing to me symbolized that more than this video. I would love to have AOC on the show, and Mandami and Elizabeth Warren, but I can't subpoena the guests. And I can't fix that what the Democrats are scared of more than anything else, I mean, obviously besides gluten, is being primaried from the far left, even though most Democrats are not far left. They're mild-mannered and moderate, at least at my bathhouse.
Bill Maher is back on the warpath, and this time, he lit up the Democrats for bending the knee to the so-called woke mob. Now, Maher actually gives credit where it's due. He says most Democrats are normal, reasonable, and pretty grounded. But according to him, it's the loud, fringe left that's pulling the entire party off the rails. And in true Maher fashion, he didn't hold back. He dragged them through the mud with a mix of brutal honesty and razor-sharp comedy. Trust me, this one's spicy. And hey, before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss moments like this, where politics meets comedy and the gloves come all the way off.
Having with Stormy Daniels was wrong, but Trump didn't hide from the camera. Quite the opposite. It looks like he said to the photographer, "Widen that out so you can get these tits."
Bill Maher just dropped the one insult Democrats never want to hear. He compared them to Trump. Yeah, for a party that constantly claims the moral high ground and paints Trump as the absolute bottom of the political barrel, that's basically sacrilege. But Maher didn't blink. He went there. His argument? Like it or not, Trump faced his scandals head on. He didn't run. He didn't hide. He just bulldozed through the chaos. Meanwhile, Democrats, Maher says, are paralyzed by fear of the woke mob, too timid to stand firm, too cautious to show backbone. And in Maher's eyes, that spinelessness makes them weaker than the very man they despise.
He's got his mugshot hanging outside the Oval Office. He's literally got a guy working for him named Big Balls. It's like if Gavin Newsom had a henchman named Perfect Hair.
Maher kept the praise for Trump rolling. Yeah, you heard that right. Praise. Not because he likes the guy, but because in Maher's eyes, Trump owned his chaos and never once bowed to the woke mob. During his campaign, Trump didn't pander, didn't sugarcoat. He straight up mocked them, laid out exactly what he'd do if he got the power, and shockingly, voters rewarded him for it. Meanwhile, Democrats were so terrified of upsetting the mob, they bent over backwards trying to keep them happy. And we all know how that turned out. Spoiler alert, it wasn't pretty.
People ask me all the time, why haven't you ever had Hillary or Bill Clinton on? Why didn't you have Kamala on during the last campaign? You think we don't ask? We ask these people every week. They say no. It took 8 years and a petition to get Obama on. And these are people, all people I voted for. Think about that. They're afraid to come on the show of a guy who voted for them. The Republicans, they show up. And when they do, they take their beating like a man.
Here's where it really stings. Maher's own audience, a crowd that's usually left-leaning and packed with DNC loyalists, actually found themselves applauding Republicans. Yeah, let that sink in. When your base starts clapping for the other team, that's not just irony, that's humiliation. Maher says the Democratic leadership has turned into a bundle of nerves, constantly terrified of backlash, whether it's from voters, donors, activists, or even the Twitter mob. Meanwhile, Republicans, they charge straight into the den, fists up, ready to take the hits if that's what it takes. They'd rather fight and lose than cower and pander. And that, Maher argues, is the painful contrast. One side stands their ground, the other side folds.
Down to Mar-a-Lago and kissed his ass after that.
Oh, bullshit.
When the Mueller report came out, I feel like you mischaracterized it, and I feel that was shady. But you campaigned for election deniers in 2022. This I do not forgive. The Republicans, including you, January 6th, etc., are the ones who are no longer willing to play by the rules of democracy. Amendment 22, no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. And yet you keep talking about Trump's third. Maybe you should have this. Here, just put that.
Say what you will about Republicans, love them or hate them, but they've shown a level of grit that you just can't ignore. They stand their ground, no matter who's throwing punches, and they do it without so much as a flinch. That kind of courage, raw, unapologetic, and unafraid, is exactly what Bill Maher keeps pointing to. They don't fold under pressure, they don't chase every outrage cycle, and they definitely don't fake a personality just to win applause. Instead, they fight with their heads held high, even when the odds are stacked against them. And because of that, they've not only earned Maher's reluctant respect, but honestly, mine too. Sometimes it takes watching your rivals to remember what real backbone actually looks like.
I would love to have AOC on the show, and Mandami and Elizabeth Warren, but I can't subpoena the guests. And I can't fix that what the Democrats are scared of more than anything else, I mean, obviously besides gluten, is being primaried from the far left, even though most Democrats are not far left. They're mild-mannered and moderate, at least at my bathhouse.
And let's be real. You already know why folks like AOC or Ilhan Omar wouldn't dare step foot on Bill Maher's stage. These two are practically the poster kids for wokeness, champions of the kind of performative politics Maher has zero patience for. They thrive in safe little echo chambers, where every slogan gets a standing ovation, and every radical idea floats by unchallenged. But on Maher's stage, they'd have to defend that wokeness under fire. Stripped of hashtags and applause lines, and they know exactly how that would go. Maher would cut straight through the theatrics and expose the hollow parts of the act. That's why his invites get dodged like they're radioactive, because stepping into his arena means watching their carefully polished narrative unravel in real time.
There's one practical thing that Democrats can do right now that would help them regain power. It's never speak to Trump in person. No, I'm kidding. That's stupid. No, it's this. Inspire your moderates to vote in the primaries. Get that base excited. You have the numbers. After Congressman Moulton made his comment about his daughter not getting run over, he added, "But as a Democrat, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that." Well, then change what you're supposed to be afraid of.
The Democrats' fear is eating them alive, and Bill Maher has no problem mocking it straight to their faces. What he sees is a party drifting toward collapse, weighed down by cowardice and paralyzed by indecision. And for Maher, that's personal. This is the same party he's backed for decades, and now he's watching it sink to the bottom. The most infuriating part? The irony. Democrats aren't fighting the rot within, they're feeding it. Instead of standing tall, they're handing the steering wheel over to the woke mob, obeying every demand and shaming anyone who dares to question it. That's not leadership, it's self-destruction. Maher paints the image of a ship already taking on water, with its captains drilling more holes in the hull, all in the name of appeasement. And unless they find the courage to finally grab the wheel, the Democrats won't just keep sinking. The very mob they're afraid of will be the one that drags them under for good.
Democrats need to get their together because we need two parties in this country, and we desperately need the one that still concedes elections, doesn't sell the office, and doesn't want to completely switch out democratic rule of law for a rubber-stamped autocracy. But that party is so right now, and nothing to me symbolized that more than this video.
America absolutely needs a second party to keep the balance of power in check. But here's what it doesn't need: a party hijacked by wokeness. Nobody asked for a political movement that forces anti-common sense ideas down our throats under the shiny label of progress. Nobody needs a party that preaches tolerance yet can't tolerate anyone who dares to think differently. And we definitely don't need leaders who wave the flag of free speech, only to cancel and silence us the second our words don't fit their script. That's not democracy. That's hypocrisy. This country thrives on debate, on disagreement, on the clash of ideas. What it cannot survive on is censorship dressed up as virtue. A real second party should be tough, rational, and fearless in the face of challenges. What it can't be is a woke echo chamber, punishing independent thought while rewarding blind conformity. Because that's not freedom. It's the exact opposite.
Why do I say that? Well, let me put it this way. I don't know for a fact that this couple are Democrats. I just know it's true. First off, the man is at a Coldplay concert. And while Republicans could like Coldplay, they don't, but they could. It's unlikely that this guy is a Christian conservative because he was having an affair with a woman. No, I knew they were Democrats for the same reason I knew this was a Democrat. You can't hide from the kiss cam, and you can't hide in the Oval Office. Damn, if only the lady at the Coldplay concert had brought some folders with her, maybe she wouldn't be in hot water today.
It's the kind of comedy that hurts. Hilarious and painful all at once. Bill Maher keeps hammering Democrats for one thing they just can't seem to grow: a spine. Over and over, he points out how quick they are to puff up their chests, shout from the rooftops, and act bold when they're spinning tall tales about Trump or scrambling to cover their own scandals. In those moments, they look tough, self-righteous, unstoppable. But the second the spotlight shifts to confronting the woke mob, that courage evaporates. Suddenly, those same fearless leaders turn into jittery chickens, terrified of a few fringe activists dragging their party deeper into chaos. Instead of leading with conviction, they bow, they bend, they call it strategy. Maher doesn't just notice the hypocrisy, he roasts it. And honestly, watching Democrats fold this easily makes his ridicule not only fair, but flat out entertaining.
But Democrats seem to be afraid of everything. They were petrified of COVID, masking 2-year-olds who never would have died from it and keeping schools closed for far too long. They're definitely afraid of their kids, who from time immemorial have always come up with bad ideas. Their kids. Thinking up stupid shit is what they do. But parents used to tell them, that's ridiculous. The world doesn't work that way. Not today's parents. They say, you're right, honey. Gender is just a social construct. Please, sometimes your mother and I forget which one of us has the dick.
One of the strangest, most baffling moves the woke left ever pulled was handing the microphone and the power to kids. Yes, actual children. Suddenly, we're not just listening to them. We're shaping policy around people who haven't even decided what they want for dinner, let alone a career. And of course, it didn't stop at politics. This weird obsession seeped into our culture. Movies, TV shows, every corner of entertainment. Almost overnight, the script flipped. Kids became the all-knowing, enlightened voices of reason, while adults, the ones with actual life experience, were reduced to clueless, bumbling side characters. It was like a cultural rewrite in real time, teaching society to take advice from the playground while mocking the wisdom of people who've actually lived through something. The result? A generation convinced that immaturity equals insight, while genuine authority and experience are treated like dusty relics from the past.
I don't know if we're still banning TikTok. That was before we changed the rule in America to Trump decides what's a law. But I know it wouldn't even be an issue if parents would sack up and tell their kids to get off the fucking phone. Democrats are still afraid of the mean girls who police their far-out fringe. Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton had a perfect score on LGBTQ issues from the Human Rights Campaign. But when he said, "I have 2 little girls. I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a male or formerly male athlete," his own campaign manager quit. And the chair of the Salem Democratic City Committee, Liz Bratt, accused Moulton of being, quote, what is known as a cooperator in Nazi times. Yeah, I think the word you're looking for, moron, is collaborator. And I'm guessing everything you know about Nazi times comes from TikTok.
One of the woke left's most defining quirks, and maybe their most self-destructive, is how quickly they turn on their own. They love to parade tolerance, but the second someone on their side dares to think even slightly differently, the knives come out. We've watched plenty of prominent leftists walk away, not because they suddenly became conservatives, but because they couldn't take the suffocating intolerance inside their own camp. The woke crowd lives by one code: absolute conformity or absolute cancellation. Step out of line, question the narrative, sing even half a different tune, and you're done. Loyalty doesn't save you. Your past doesn't save you. Your sacrifices don't save you. Break with the orthodoxy once, and you're branded a traitor. That ruthless self-cannibalization is exactly why more people are bailing out. And this is where Bill Maher's relentless criticism hits hardest. Because at this point, it isn't just comedy. It's a mirror. A mirror showing a party destroying itself from within. From their fear of the woke mob, to their hypocrisy on free speech, to the bizarre obsession with elevating kids as sages, the Democrats keep proving his point. Worse, their refusal to show courage has turned them into the very thing they claim to despise: weak, intolerant, and ruled by the mob. Meanwhile, Republicans, flawed as they may be, at least still show grit, fight, and backbone. And until Democrats rediscover theirs, Maher's gonna keep roasting them, and America's gonna keep asking the question, who's really fit to lead? And that's where we'll wrap it up for today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, smash subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next video.